The 64 items of devotional service. First 10 are must. Now let us see the next 10, what we should not do. Can everyone hear my voice?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
One should resolutely give up the company of non-devotees. What is that? One should resolutely give up the company of non-devotees. Very important. What is resolutely give up the company of non-devotees? What does it mean? As Lord Chaitanya was asked, Asat Sangatyaga Ei Vaishnavacharya. What is the devotees' way of working? I mean, what are the rules and regulations of devotees? They avoid Asat Sangha. They avoid non-devotee association. Can anyone give the reasons? Let us make it interactive. Why one should avoid non-devotee? No. Who is a non-devotee? What does he like? Let us see. Why should one avoid non-devotee? Actually, Ramanujacharya says you have to jump into fire. Your choices are associated with non-devotee. Ramanujacharya says we should go for jumping into fire. You have to drink poison or associate with non-devotee. He says drink poison and die, but not that much heavy. Why? Anybody?
Bhakti Vinashyati, Shadbir Bhakti Vinashyati.
Okay, wait. Somebody's talking here. Yes, Amma. So the non-devotees don't follow regulative principles. If you are attracted to them, we'll give up our sadhana practices. Wonderful. Yes, non-devotees, there means money and sense enjoyment. They're very fond of it. When we go for it, our spiritual life is spoiled. Kiriti Prabhu. Kiriti Prabhu, you're telling something.
Yeah, Prabhuji, I was saying in the Nectar of Instruction, it is mentioned, Shadbir Bhakti Vinashyati. This is one of it.
Shadbir Bhakti Vinashyati. What are the 6 qualities that we should avoid?
Prayalpa, Janasanga.
Janasangascha, exactly. Janasangascha Laulyamcha. So if there we should avoid the association of non-devotees, that will destroy bhakti. Very nice. Anybody wants to add? Why should one give up the company of non-devotees? What happens when we associate with non-devotees? Why it is so strict? To the extent of jumping into the fire, they are telling. Huh? Anyone wants to add?
We will lose the taste for the devotional service, Prabhuji.
Yes. We will lose the taste for devotional service. Killer of the soul, Atmaha. So our desire to enjoy, perform bhakti, our desire to perform bhakti, our desire to render service, devotional service, we destroy. Amazing. Thank you. One should not instruct a person who is not desirous of accepting bhakti. This is also 9th offense. One should not instruct a person who doesn't have faith on the holy name, right? Instruct the faithless person on the glories of the holy name. Same thing. Person who is not interested, we should not speak bhakti to them. They think, we are forcing all these things, they'll get something out of it. Bhakti is a diamond. One time Prabhupada was giving class. First day 300 people came. Second day 250 people came. Third day only 150 people came. And the reporter asked, Swamiji, why so people are not coming? So many people and people are dropping. Prabhupada said, Bhakti is a diamond. Bhakti is a diamond, and people go to you don't see so many people going to diamond shop to buy diamonds, but you see so many people going to vegetable market. So So bhakti is like that. Bhakti is very, very is especially meant for advanced people, who understood the essence of life, who understood the goal of life. Same thing. For example, you don't have money to buy diamond, you'll not think of diamond. For example, there is this Tesla car they're telling. If you don't have so much money to buy that car, you will not think of that. If you have money only to buy cycle, you're happy with buying cycle. The problem is we do not know who has money to buy cycle and who has money to buy Tesla car. We do not know. So time will reveal. So bhakti is it takes you very forward. One time, because with Krishna's grace we can go forward. One time Anandarandanu asked this question. When I hear about the bhakti of gopis, it's very discouraging because their level is very high. As well as Radhanath Swami said, you cannot even imagine because they attained Krishna's grace. Krishna gave his total full mercy to them. You can never attain gopis mercy. Level. You can never attain gopis level of bhakti because they received from Supreme Personality of Krishna fully with their behavior. So to that much level we can go. But Rupa Goswami says, what one should have to make progress? Laulyam ekam apimulyam, intense greed. What one should have? Intense greed. Always, how can I serve Krishna? How can I serve Krishna? Prabhupada, throughout his life he tried. Very failure, many areas. But Prabhupada never gave it up because our attempt is to try. Krishna is the one who will award the results, right? So if you look for only results and claim proprietorship over results, then we'll be spoiled. So if those people are those who are not interested, we should not teach about bhakti. One should not be very enthusiastic about constructing costly temples or monasteries. So, but if you see ISKCON temples there, TUV, they're being very costly temple. What is this? Is it against the injunction of Rupa Goswami? Right? One should not build costly temples for display purposes. But if you build for preaching, that is fine. Prabhupada said, I can sit under a tree and preach. I can sit under a tree and preach. But the whole society will not come. Because certain people, for them to come to Krishna consciousness, they need a wonderful chair. They need a beautiful building. They need AC building, actually, air conditioned. Then only they will come. So, for preaching, we can do it. It's not. That is the exception. One should not try to read many books. Nor should one develop the idea of earning livelihood by lecturing on or professional reciting Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita. Very important. So it's called Atyahara. Okay, read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Nectar of Devotion, Nectar of Instruction. Then what else? Isopanishad. If you keep on reading, Prabhupada says it's Atyahara. Read Bhagavatam 5 times, fine. Read Bhagavad Gita every day. Once you finish Bhagavad Gita, read again. Janivas Prabhu says, if you read Bhagavad Gita, one day you'll see the Lotus feet of Radharan. But I want to read that book, this book, this book. And if you are not careful, if you have qualification, no problem. No? But one has to be careful. One should not be neglectful in ordinary dealings. We have to be very careful. Kali Yuga actually. If you are little not careful, it will spoil the relationships. One has to be very careful. Imagine somebody calls you 5 times and you don't return the call. Will they be upset with you or not? Definitely they'll be upset with you. You know? So what is that? We have to be very careful and straightforward in our dealings. And the 6th one is one should not be under the spell of lamentation in loss or jubilation in gain. One should not be under the spell of lamentation in loss or jubilation in gain. Okay, something you get, oh, start rolling on the ground. I did it. That's wrong. Krishna has given it, take it with gratitude. Krishna has not given it, take it with gratitude. Krishna is not giving, we don't take it, it means we are Rajogun. That's not easy actually. Sometimes Krishna doesn't give all the time what we want. There is a reason why he doesn't give. When something Krishna gives, oh, Krishna's mercy. Yes or no? We all have our desires. Certain desires Krishna doesn't fulfill. For the desires that Krishna doesn't fulfill, we should not be in anxiety. I'm repeating everyone, this works for everybody. You know, if you don't get the things that you want, we should not lament. There is a reason why Krishna is not giving. If you get what you want, you should not be exploding in happiness. Because everything is temporary. Everything is temporary. So, right now, every one of you, we all want something that we are not getting and we are worried. You all agree or not? Huh? So what is Rupa Goswami telling? Should not lament. There is a reason why Krishna is not giving. Maybe Krishna can give you better things. You know, actually, honestly speaking, in my life, always Krishna gives something. I mean, I should not speak like this and create an impression. Whatever Krishna gives is perfect. When Krishna gives to somebody else, if you're intelligent, I mean, it's not easy, but we should, my Lord, thank you very much. You are giving me eyes to see your grace flowing through that person. For that, I'm grateful. When the grace comes to one time, Radha Gopinath Prabhu asked this question to Radhanath Swami. When grace flow comes to us, we become grateful. Thank you, my Lord. Amazing, very grateful. Yes or no? You know? So you got Kripa, Krishna Kripa. I have a question for everyone. When you get Krishna Kripa, you'll become grateful or not? When somebody gets it, painful. Wow, amazing, nice point. And as well as Radhanath Swami said, when somebody gets it, Krishna reveals his grace to you, that the Krishna is giving his grace to them. I'm repeating again. When Krishna shows grace to somebody, and when Krishna reveals, it is my grace because of which, my grace, why that Prabhu or Mataji is doing very well. So you should know my grace is flowing. So when Krishna is there, will you be envious of Krishna? No. So when Krishna shows himself there, we should become grateful to Krishna, he said. Radhanasan said. Otherwise, if you become envious of the person, even after seeing that, you are envious of Krishna. Wow. You know, it is not easy. Somebody in Rajogun, Tamagun, I'm talking to myself. How many of you are understanding? Do you agree it is not easy? Okay, only one person.
Yes,
Yeah.
Prabhu, I think it is more to remember would be the hard thing for me rather than acceptance. Remembering that all the time.
Remembering that all the time. So that means we are not getting that grace. When Krishna makes you remember, it means his grace is there. Okay, you know what is that? You are doing great things. Oh, Krishna's grace is coming through Prempali Mataji. That's fine. You know, honestly speaking, certain things that we don't aspire, and somebody else is doing, we are not so much worried. What we aspire for bhakti, other person gets it. And then problem, right? So when we see Krishna is empowering him or her, Krishna is empowering him or her. When we see that, I'll tell you the easiest answer. In your mind, you think they are better than me, even if they are like 15-year-old child, but they are better than me. So they have Krishna's grace. They are empowered by Krishna. If you think like that, that is the safest way to overcome. How many of you are clear? This is very important. They are better than me. Are you clear on that? You know, the safest way to come out of this hub is, this web is, oh, there she is better than me, or he is better than me. How many of you are listening and understanding? This is very important and crucial.
Yes, Prabhuji, understood.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Otherwise, it will trigger for sure what? What quality it will trigger?
Envy, Prabhuji.
That's it. Trigger envy. Even if you are good at 9 things, one thing somebody will be better than you. That's how this world works. So simple thing, that's why one should have the armor of humility. Amanitvam adambitvam. What is that? 14th chapter Gita. You know, humility, which Krishna likes it very much. Everyone was going to temple, but Haridas Thakur cannot go. Or he doesn't want to go. Maybe he can go, you know, he can, I don't know what would happen. He never tried. He felt I'm very fallen. Rupa Goswami, the founder for our movement, ISKCON movement, founder Acharya, founder for, you know, Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam, Sthapitam Yena Bhutale. Rupa Goswami never entered Jagannath Puri temple. Everyone was going. How do you feel? Right? And this is the height. Everyone is getting darshan of Lord Chaitanya, but Mahapratapadura was not getting that. This is the problem. The best example, because Rupa Goswami, they're all exalted. And Pratapadura Maharaj is also exalted, but you know, king means he is in position. As soon as Lord Chaitanya came, Pratapadura Maharaj said, arrange his stay in Kashi Mishra's home, Gambhira, and give devotees, all the devotees. And when they came to Rath Yatra, residences, give them prasad. So everyone is coming and telling, wow, mil gaya mercy. Lord Chaitanya is amazing. And you are not getting it. And you are the owner of the kingdom. How do you feel it? Huh? So Lord Chaitanya came, who has to arrange the residence? Maharaj Prataparudra. You know? So without Maharaj Prataparudra telling, Kashi Mishra will not give. If Prataparudra Maharaj said, Kashi Mishra, Nobody in Jagannath Puri should give the residence to Lord Chaitanya. What will happen? Nobody will give, right? But he knew. Then what happens? All kingdom will lose the grace. So the worst thing is, everyone is under him. Saram Bhattacharya is his guru, But of course, he's like what is a Tastan Pandit. Saram Bhattacharya said, "My Lord, he showed me Krishna form." Really? And what is his name? Our Ramananda Rai. "My Lord, I want to resign. Why? I want to dedicate my life to Lord Chaitanya." Wow. Amazing. Fantastic. Because why? I got his grace. Okay, at least arrange my association. My Lord, he doesn't want to see you. He doesn't know. How do you feel it? Huh? What is that? Everyone is getting it, but I'm not getting it. Actually, he says that what Lord Chaitanya wanted to deliver the whole universe except Vratavrudra. But he was sad, but he did not do anything wrong. He waited for it. Gopis, elderly gopis, when they saw Mother Yashoda give birth, actually when you pair wife and husband, when they become old, usually they don't get children. Or if at last they get any child, it will be female, baby girl only. But now what happened? They became old, but one day, fine morning, they gave birth to a blue butter boy. Krishna is so beautiful. So beautiful. Everyone is attracted. Bhagavatam says not even one person was envious of Yashoda. Yashoda, congratulations, Yashoda. Amazing Yashoda. Radhanath Swami says, when somebody gets something and you appreciate genuinely, sometimes when you're ready, Krishna will give you more or equal. Only for this one quality. Amazing, right? Understanding or not? When you appreciate, others get it what you're looking for in a very non-envious way, but genuinely appreciate. When you are ready, Krishna will give you equal or more than what you expect. Amazing, right? That's why happiness comes. Thank you, my Lord. Distress comes. Distress comes. Louder.
Thank you, my Lord.
But what is the nature of the mind? Nature of the mind is, it doesn't show what you have and makes you happy. It shows what you don't have and makes you unhappy. How many of you agree? Others say, you have everything. You say, yes, I have everything, but your mind will go to but. How many of you agree? But, right? Who? But she got the deity, right? If you go to Jagannath, what is that? Dhameshwar Mahaprabhu, the deity was given to her by Lord Chaitanya. So Koladvip. You cross the river and it's very famous. Mayapur only. So she got the deity. I mean, Yama, you say like that, you made a point, no doubt, you made a point. Now I'll tell you more then, if you say like that. Loknath Goswami, Lord Chaitanya told him, two people actually, Kashi Mishra and Loknath Goswami. So he told Kashi Mishra, Loknath Goswami said, he knew Loknath Goswami cannot take seeing his sannyas. So in their meeting, Lord Chaitanya said, you go to Vrindavan and stay there, I'll come to Vrindavan. Right? And Loknath Goswami waited. Lord Chaitanya never came. Finally, what he did, one day, so I will go and see him. So he came from Vrindavan to Jagannath Puri. What happened? Lord Chaitanya went to South India. Lord Chaitanya went to South India. So I think, not like today, email and you'll be there, take a flight. So again, he tried. Lord Chaitanya came to Jagannath Puri, he left for Vrindavan. Really left for Vrindavan? He told me to wait in Vrindavan. So I should go there. Otherwise, then he came running to Vrindavan. Lord Chaitanya stayed in Vrindavan for 2 months. Lord Chaitanya left last week from Vrindavan. Loknath Goswami never saw Lord Chaitanya. Kashi Mishra, sorry, not Kashi Mishra, Tapan Mishra, of course. Lord Chaitanya told him to stay in Varanasi, So Varanasi filled with Mayavad. Who will go and stay in Maya, in Kasi? But Kashi Mishra went and stayed. Oh, sorry, not Kashi Mishra, sorry, Tapan Mishra. Who is Tapan Mishra? Father of Raghunath Bhatta Goswami. So it's a difficult instruction, right? Staying in Kasi. So this is a very interesting thing. Loknath Goswami never saw Lord Chaitanya. That's a tough word. So what is that? Serving in separation. What is that? You serve in separation. Actually, sometimes we do not know. Separation becomes so intense. You will see Krishna everywhere actually. You will see Lord Chaitanya everywhere. If you have that intense separation. It's called Vipralambha Seva. Anyway, that's a different topic, but we should not be so much affected by happiness and distress. That's the moral. Clear or not? Clear or not? Happiness comes, thank you. Distress comes, accept it. One should not disrespect demigods. One should not disrespect devatas. Can anyone give example who disrespected devatas? Indra disrespected Brahaspati, that is actually disrespected Guru.
Hanuman Gita hurt, so he took all the air and he went in the cave. Because when Hanuman jumped into the sun, when the lightning affected him, he fell down. So no one protected him. So why Bhagavan was angry?
Why he was upset with devatas? This is my son, and Hiranyakasipu disrespected devatas. He made them their servants actually. So Daksha, I'm talking about devotees actually. Daksha worshipped Vishnu, but he had no faith on Shiva. He disrespected Shiva. So for that reason, Krishna was unhappy, Vishnu was unhappy. And that's why he had to pay the price. So we have to give respect to devatas they deserve. Actually, when you see a Mayavad sannyasi, Prabhupada said this, should offer obeisances. Even though they are Mayavadi sannyasi, they are a Mayavadi sannyasi. They are a sannyasi. So we should give respect to the ashram. You know, sometimes in Mayapur, you see sannyasis from Gaudi Math. And people neglect them. That's wrong. They're sannyasis, Gaudi sannyasis, you know. So what to speak of? Any sannyasi we see, we should respect them. Prabhupada said the respect is for their the dress, the ashram, you know. And Rutrasura was not a Devata. Yeah. No, Rutras, Indra did not disrespect. They are enemies actually. Why you thought he disrespect? Actually, the question I asked was devotees who have respected some Devata, respected Krishna but did not respect the Devatas. That's my question. So when we see Mayavad sannyasis, when we see any other sannyasis, when we see in ISKCON sannyasis, we should respect and offer obeisances. Actually, when we see a sannyasi and don't offer respect, obeisances, at least one time we should offer obeisance. First time we see them. And we don't need to do bar karne ki zarurat nahi. But first time, but if you do it, great. And especially Guru should do it every time. You know, but at least first time you see, you should offer a respect. Otherwise, you should fast, scriptures say. Can you read the next one? One should not give unnecessary trouble to any living entity. Very important. Everyone, please repeat this. You know, we are in a community, it is important. Everyone unmute and say, one should not give unnecessary trouble to any living entity. Can you read that?
One should not
give unnecessary trouble
to any living
entity.
Yeah, one should not give unnecessary troubles to any living entity.
One should not give unnecessary trouble to any living entity.
Very important. Why? Ahimsa. You know, one should not give any trouble. If not, stay away. Or respect from distance. But by words, actions, and deeds, by our thinking, by our words, by our deeds, we should not give trouble, unnecessary trouble to any living entity. I have a question for you then. What if somebody is giving you trouble? You are not giving them trouble, but they are giving you trouble. What you do? So some easy answer came from Kishore to accept it. Is it easy to accept? Why they can do this? How can they do this to me? The simple answer is accept it and stay away, but don't speak. You know? Or if you want to share your lamentation, you can share your lamentation without disrespecting the other party. Ninth one. Can somebody read the ninth one?
One should carefully avoid the
Go ahead.
One should carefully avoid the various offenses in chanting the holy name of the Lord or in worshipping the deity in the temple.
And so, you know, what is that? We have to two things here, Namaprad and Sevaprad. We'll see that, you know, in the next chapter. You know, Brahmins, this is for, actually first one is for everyone, second is for Brahmins who are going on the altar. But be very careful. No, in any, actually I've seen this over a period of time, you develop familiarity. Unless you're very advanced devotee, it's not easy. You know, you develop familiarity with whomever you deal with. I know him. You take them for granted. That is not good. Anyone you don't deal with on regular basis, you retain that respect. But anybody you deal with on regular basis, you develop familiarity. If Krishna comes to our temple every day, after 6 months, you come every time, If he comes to serve us, we have no problem. But we have to serve, it is difficult. I'm just giving you an example. These are extraneous. But basically, we should know, my Lord, as soon as we say that, we should have that, we should not have familiarity, respect, immense respect, gratitude. Then only we'll avoid familiarity, then only we'll avoid offenses. Someday, otherwise, pujaris, I've seen what happens, they'll start talking on the altar. If Prabhupada is standing behind you, will you ignore him and start talking to others? Right? Okay, 6:30 we need offering. Here, 6:35, 5 minutes. What? No. 5 minutes will become 7 minutes. What? 7 minutes become 10 minutes. Cook also. Easiest thing to cook, If you care somebody, if you respect somebody, you have to pay attention to the detail. If you care somebody, if you pay attention to somebody, you pay attention to the detail. Recently, I went to somebody's home in India. The detail, attention they paid to the detail, they're not ISKCON devotees actually. I was so impressed. I told him, if I apply whatever you treated me, whatever the hospital you have given me, if I give 10%, if I learn 10% and give it to others, my life will become better, I told him. Oh, what a detail. If you agree, my driver will come and drop you, and Vrindavan will stay with you, and he'll bring you back. I don't know. My fear is, I don't know them so much, and I said, no, if you can, I agreed, you can drop is fine. So he picked me up, and you drop me on the road, but this road will directly go to Vrindavan. I will take a taxi and go. No, I said, this is your car, So we'll drop you in here. No, if you drop me in our home, you'll be a little late. I'm sure you may have some engagement. I said, I know, I have no engagement in India, So, wow. So this person will work for you next 3 days. I said, no need. So that detail, wow. Huh? Yes, no. One day they'll come here actually. So I went to Sri Rangam one time, South India Yatra. So we are like 5,000 devotees. And because we're 5,000 years, they call that Jier, that Guru. That Guru was 80-year-old. But when he wanted to give that lecture, he came, he drove 5 hours, 82 years. And he was speaking hour after hour after hour with enthusiasm. Anyway, the lesson today is, whenever the disciple would go before him, he would talk like this. Guru Maharaj, no, yes, on the stage, I can't see what he was talking. We are very far. So Guru would say something immediately, tell me this. What? I said, what is this? What is this? One day, then I came back, I went to Detroit Temple. So one person, he came to me, somebody introduced me, he wants to talk. Came and said, he did like this. And he asked me a question. So I answered, but I said, I have a question for you. I said, what is that? Why are you doing this whenever you talk? What does this mean? Why are you putting your hand? Not that he'll put on the hands. Whenever he wants to speak, I have a question for you. And he'll put, and the question is over, he'll talk like this. But then he wants to say, but I said, Prabhu, what is this hand? I saw recently in Srirangam also. He said, you're so exalted. When I talk, I don't want my spit to fall on you by accident. That's why I'm putting my like this. The person who was talking to the GR, you said in Srirangam, he was also doing the same thing for his Guru Maharaj. Really? Wow. I don't know this. Respect. So we should have that respect for the holy name, for the devotees, for the deities, for Bhagavatam. Srila Prabhupada Murti, one person, I lived in Vrindavan, who would come into the temple and offer obeisances, knock the door, offer obeisances. When they would leave, I'm sure many of you have been to Vrindavan, and the offices are on sites. So every day you have to go through the temple hall. You have to go through 10 times. Let me confess, first time I would go, I would offer obeisance so sincerely. During the day, and go. But one person I observed throughout my life did this. If that person would go 10 times, knock the door, offer obeisances, get up, walk. Other end, when leaving the temple, offer obeisances and go. Full, Mother Malte. Prabhupada training. So Prabhupada trained them like this. She would knock the door. She would, like ladies, right? So that's why she would offer half obeisances. And she would get up and she would come out and she would offer obeisances and go. I don't know if she still does it, but at least when I was there all the years, she's the only one. She would do it. I said, wow. She knocked the door, offer obeisances. Like, age is there still. So that is detail. Otherwise, Guru Maharaj, one day one person said, Vancha, Vancha. I said, what is that? Vancha kalpatarubhyasya, shortcut is Vancha, Vancha. This type of things, they will breed offenses. It will create offense to the devil. The moment you take the person for granted, you will definitely offend him. The moment you take the person for granted, you will offend him. The moment you have lost respect, the layers of respect, it's only a matter of time when you will offend them. Interesting or not?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Important. I'll go to the class. No, that's okay. Same thing. Telling is his duty, not following is my duty. Then what happens? It creates imbalance. It creates imbalance. How many of you agree? Bhakti is simple but not easy. Do you agree? Bhakti is simple but not easy. One should be very intolerant towards blasphemy of Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, or his devotees. Somebody is offending Krishna, we have to be very, very upset with them. One day one person spoke, Raghunath Das Goswami, he spoke against Raghunath Das Goswami. Saraswati Thakur fasted for one day. What he did? Bhaktivinoda Saraswati Thakur, what he did? He fasted for one day. I said, Guru Maharaj, why are you doing this? He did not offend you. He said, I'm taking so much respect from everybody. I'm representing Parampara. So when you hear the blasphemy, this is what I can do. Faster. Lord Chaitanya, when Jagai Madai were offending Nityananda Prabhu, he invoked Sudarshan Chakra to kill them actually. That's when they surrendered. But when he was offended by, who offended Lord Chaitanya? Huh? Lord Chaitanya. I mean, who criticized? Who blasphemed Lord Chaitanya?
Ramchandra Puri.
Ramchandra Puri, exactly. Lord Chaitanya did not invoke Sudarshan Chakra. So what is the moral? Moral is when the devotee is offended, I mean, devotee is blasphemed, we should not stay there. If they are doing to one devotee, they'll do to you tomorrow. Oh, he's doing not to me, to him, I'm okay. That is wrong. It's blasphemy actually. You are understanding or not? So when Ramchandra Puri was offended, I mean, blaspheming Lord Chaitanya didn't say anything. He applied Tranadapi Sunicha. But when Nityananda Prabhu was blasphemed by Jagan Madai, he knows. How many of you are clear? So these are the 10 things we should avoid to preserve our bhakti. You know, the rest are nama. These 20 things, there are many more. We discussed only 20. There are 44 things given in 32 given in Padma Puran. You know, so Rupa Goswami mentioned some altogether 64 items. But the last 5, what are the last 5? 5 things will work. Many there's also there in the chapter. You know, sorry, but still there is still. I'm sorry. What happened? One should decorate the body with tilak, which is a sign of Vaishnavas. You know, very important. Prabhupada would actually chastise people if they don't have tilak. Do you know this? Whoever wears tilak and applies the principles of bhakti, you know, they're actually, you know, wherever they stand, that place becomes holy. Wear tilak. In fact, somebody sees you, they make progress. And they'll remember Krishna. Lord Chaitanya said, a Vaishnava is he who, when seen, remains one of Krishna. It is essential that a Vaishnava mark his body with tilak to remind others of Krishna. Prabhupada, somebody would go in front of Prabhupada without tilak, Prabhupada would be angry. The body that does not wear tilak is a dead body. Padma Puran says. Everyone should wear tilak. And I know devotees in America who would go to office with tilak. So, but if you don't have that courage, you can wear water tilak. But there should be tilak. But you know, at least face no, but other parts you can apply. Madhvacharya says, if you apply tilak in how many parts? All these parts. You know? How many? 12 or 13? 12, but the 13th one you have to apply it like this. You will be protected by Maya from different directions. Keshavanama, Narayanama, Madhavanama, Govindanama, Vishnuvanama, Masundrikramanam, Vamanam, Sridharam, Rishikesan, Padmanam, Damodaranama, and Vasudevanama. That's it. So the 12 places, you know, you apply tilak, then you will be defended, you will be protected against the onslaught of Maya. Right? And also, somewhere it is, you can also, some people, I have seen brahmacharis and Babajis writing on the chest. So there's someone, they actually they write to Krishna, Hare Krishna. You know. So in marking such tilak, sometimes one may write Hare Krishna on the body also. You know. So it means you are realizing a body is a temple where Krishna is Paramatma living in the body. It's very important. So this is very important, sirs. One should accept flower garlands Flowers and garlands that have been offered to the deity and spiritual master, put them on one's body. Very important. The 11th canto of Bhagavatam says, a devotees by taking prasad, by accepting garlands, they will defeat Maya actually. Like, you wear garland, like, you give it to the speaker. Initial days when people, I would see this. When somebody would put garland, speaker would take and smell. So they won't enjoy that. No, when I read later, when you smell the garland, you're purified. You're protected against Maya. So, devotees don't know this. That's why the garlands lie here all the time. As soon as garland is there, people wear it. Proper disciples, because you wear and smell. That is how you are purified. If you see the deity, your eyes are purified. If you smell the flower, if you smell the garland of Krishna, your nose is purified. And through the nose, your heart is purified. Smell. Somebody gives the flowers, smell it, put it on your head. One should learn to dance before deity, Hare Krishna. So if you go to the first time Hare Krishna temple, what is this, you are trained to do meditation, sit, pray, and people are dancing. People cannot correlate actually. Anyone has experience? Huh? You felt like that? What you felt? I can't hear. Speak louder. Who said that? Which temple? Some other temple? So when you come to temple first time, you say, what is this, dancing? So, yes, in dance, what happens? We engage our body in Krishna service. Our Vrindanath Prabhu told a very nice thing. He sent a picture, everyone raising his hands. What, somebody is putting a gun or what from behind, hands up. Why everyone is raising hands? Raising hands is sign of surrender. Actually, it's one of angas of bhakti is to dance. Who is a famous dancer in Chaitanya Leela? Who is the famous dancer in Chaitanya Leela?
Vakreshwar Pandit Prabhuji.
I know you'll tell them. Yes, Vakreshwar Pandit is a famous dancer. 72 hours, one time he danced non-stop. 72 hours means how many days? 3 days. 24, 3, 72. He danced non-stop. Lord Chaitanya said, if only I have people like you, I can fly. Something like that. I forget exactly what Lord Chaitanya said. Lord Chaitanya was very happy. Because of Vakreshwar Pandit, who got the grace of Lord Chaitanya? Madhuri Gopinath.
Was it Devananda Pandit Prabhuji?
Who is this? Acha Pushpanjali, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, thank you. Devananda Pandit got the mercy because he rendered service to Vakreshwar Pandit. Yes, you're right. That's why Lord Chaitanya gave him grace. So, yes, we should dance. Very gracefully, very important. Otherwise, everybody is dancing. Like, two, 3 people are dancing. Rest are all standing. When will Mangalarti be over, or when Guru Puja is over, and I'll go take prasad. And people come, they can't correlate. What happened? Radhana Swami said, when everyone stands and one person is dancing, the people, onlookers, they think that one person is crazy and rest are all standing there as somebody died. So there should be uniformity in the temple, actually. One should learn to bow down immediately upon seeing the deity and spiritual master. Proper trained disciples. Very important. When you see the deity, you should bow down. Important. Same thing when we see Guru Maharaj, you should bow down. Sometimes it's a predicament for me, actually. So some outside guest, they come, or somebody comes to take measurements. some, what do you call, maybe, HVAC or some civil engineer. So I have to offer obeisances in front of them. I don't know what they will think. So what I will, that times I will offer in my, like this, my mind. Because why they want, yesterday somebody came. I said, go and take darshan. She's standing there. And I have to offer obeisances finally. What I did, I don't care what you think if I offer obeisances. So sometimes people cannot correct, but I don't, we have to be, of course, a little bit mindful. One time we went to receive Jayapataka Maharaj in the airport. Jayapataka Maharaj and Indradyumna Maharaj actually, first time, 2005 or 6. So we offer obeisances. He said, don't offer obeisances because people are watching. Don't offer obeisances. So from distance, he said, no. He said, so time, place, and circumstances, but we are in the temple, we should do it. Any question? As soon as one visits the temple, 3 participants raise their hand. Yes, please.
Prabhuji, if you
How are
have...
you? Too bad now.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Prabhuji, I didn't mean to interrupt your lecture. I thought it was over. So I raised my hand. Your voice is breaking, Prabhuji. I cannot hear you.
I can hear you clearly.
So if your lecture is not over, Prabhuji, please continue. I can ask at the end.
Lecture is not over. Let me finish.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Or, if you ask question, I think, yeah, just ask.
So this was about, it's not exactly like blasphemy, but if you have like a service where you have the lead role and then some people, they'll just criticize authority. How do we handle that situation? And even if you tell the temple authority, I don't want lead role, please just give me small thing. They don't have option because they have less people. So they say, no, you do it. But sometimes we have to hear so much criticism, Prabhuji. So how do we do? What do we do?
I asked the same question to Radhanasan one time. He said, don't act on it. I told Maharaj, I hear blasphemy and what should I do? I don't remember whether I said management or anything. Maharaj, I hear blasphemy all the time. Yeah. Criticism all the time. Maharaj said, don't act on it. I am repeating the same answer to you. Don't act on it. But simple thing, when somebody is criticizing before you walk out, for sure. Or you tell them, if only you don't criticize, if you have a little courage, so can you solve the problem by criticizing? No. Can you change that person? Then why to criticize? Instead of telling me, go and tell that person. You make it straight and you decide among yourselves. But don't spoil my consciousness, because we should not hear criticism. You can make it straight to them, no, humbly. But still, if there are certain occasions you cannot avoid, I know people, when somebody starts criticizing, they'll walk out abruptly. That's a very, what do you call that? Humbling situation, right? So,
yes,
but look, I have decided I don't want to criticize anybody. So I don't want to hear criticism. If you have any problem with them, you can resolve with them. I don't understand. I come here for service and I want to make progress. You tell them straight, humbly. And when somebody is criticizing, you respect them from distance. Clear?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. I can try.
Somebody raised hands. Second. So anybody has any question on this? Who raised hands? Otherwise, we'll go for the next one. Okay, no problem. When the deity is being born for a stroll, born means carried. Move. No. Yes. When the deity is being born for a stroll in the street, a devotee should immediately follow the procession. So sometimes, what is it, in India especially, the deities are carried in a procession, in a palanquin. We should immediately get up and offer obeisances. And if possible, we should go with them. We should follow that procession. Possibly, you can ask them to, we'll give them a chance to carry also for a little 10, 15 steps. But, so we have discussed 27, but other things are given actually in the book. My point to you, these are all details. So we need to sincerely follow to protect our bhakti and to advance in bhakti. Any question or comment overall? Otherwise, we'll end it. How do we avoid familiarity? Develop respect. Now, this is the Prabhu or this is Mataji chanting, following 4 agreements sincerely, chanting 16 rounds sincerely, making progress trying to make progress in bhakti. So how many people in farming tunnels are there like that? Very few. I said, 1,000 people are there? 500? 500 people chant 16 rounds in farming tunnels? No. 16 rounds, no. 300. I mean, okay, compared to the population, what is 300, even if it is 300? So she or he is struggling to follow 4 principles, struggling to control the mind, struggling to get rid of unearthas. We should be grateful to them. We all have impurities. I have impurities too. So respect. Respect is a medicine for familiarity. Respect and serve. Thank you for nice question. Any other question? Oh, it's up to you, but I will not say that. Any question or comment? Otherwise, we'll end it. I have a request for you, everyone. Don't develop familiarity with devotees. Anyone that you know. And respect.
Hi Krishna Prabhu, I have a question. Prabhu, when like we are on the altar and we are offering like either aarti or like the consciousness, like through the whole time, like is there something we have to meditate? Like how can we keep that steadiness in the consciousness when on the altar?
Say like Krishna, you're standing in front of Krishna. Sometimes to give you trouble, mind bring some thoughts. Ignore. Because you're before Krishna. Krishna is directly seeing you, So what I do sometimes, if I sense the mind is going to give you trouble, like 7 times right, I do 7 times Yeshadu Kling Krishna, Yeshadu Kling Krishna, Yeshadu Kling Krishna, Yeshadu Krishna, Yeshadu Krishna Radhika. So I say the mantra. That way, I don't give any room to the mind. You understand? And then of course, if you're fully absorbed, the smell. So smell is actually what? Element. You're offering incense, earth. So it is mentioned in the book. You're offering 5 elements in Aarti. Earth, water, fire, either Krishna is the owner. So your Krishna created these 5 elements and you're giving the elements back to Krishna. Krishna owns it. And you give these elements to Krishna. If you have that consciousness, then you will be able to retain it. Usually there will be kirtan actually. Kirtan will be entering into your ears. But you have to make sure your mind is not distracted. That's why what you do? Okay, say the mantra and you hear the mantra and you put your heart in that, my Lord, please accept it. So when you say please accept it, that's actually medicine to our ego, false ego. Okay.
Okay, Prabhu, thank you.
And we need to make a conscious endeavor. I'll be like this on outer. So you have to hold your mind. For that, you have to tell mind what to do. If you don't tell mind what to do, mind will tell you what to do. That's where the problem comes. Mind, we are offering incense to Krishna, to Radharani, the mother of the universe, goddess of devotion. Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna accepts my bhava. How am I offering it? That's why, see, Tadvishno, Paramam Padam Sada, Pasyanti Surya, Divyu Chakshratam, Diprasa Panyo, Jagaram Sindhite Vishnu, et Param Padam. You're entering into the spiritual world. There's a mantra. And what is that? You say that mantra, what is that? Because of envy, for so many lifetimes, I'm away from Krishna. Finally, by grace of Guru and Krishna, I'm entering into the altar. That's why one should be very grateful to Guru. One should be very grateful to Krishna for opportunity. And when you recite Aparad mantras, Aparad Sodan mantras, you have to put your heart there. Otherwise, if you develop familiarity there, no, it means I don't care. I'll do Aarti the way I want to do that. And it's a problem. Vrindavan, there is a poster actually. One time, I want to take a printout and put it. Poster by Prabhupada, that statement. If you're negligent, you'll be destroyed, Prabhupada says. This is Krishna, right? Not that Krishna needs anybody. Krishna can create a million people. But we got the opportunity. If you understand how fortunate we are. You're listening?
Yes, Prabhu.
Every day 6 hours, you don't know what happens in your life. 6 or 8 hours. When you sleep. When you 6 or 8 hours in your day, based on how many hours you sleep, you don't know what happens in your life. Somebody is protecting you. Yes or no? Who is protecting? Paramatma, Krishna is protecting. And the day you leave your body, it is all oblivion. Brahmanda, huge. Where you will go? Who controls? Who decides? Right? That time the green card has any value? Huh? All the bank account any value? What is the value? The incense you are holding. Actually, they're all chemicals only. So sad. But Krishna is very merciful, standing before us, accepting it. Plastic. Plastic is mother's blood, earth's blood, mother earth's blood, sorry. So many offenses, but Krishna is so magnanimous, he's waiting. Prabhupada said, Krishna is not waiting for, Krishna is not hungry. Krishna thinks he can create. But because you're the last child, Krishna wants you to bring you back to him. But there itself we start offending. Krishna says, all right, take a little more time. So one has to be grateful for the opportunity. Yes.
But we do a Chapter, we all are not following, we are actually in front of the deity. We are not standing in the back.
So basically follow the procession means time, place and circumstance. The moral is don't ignore. You have somebody's coming and somebody's coming, I don't care. That is not the mood. He's coming to give you grace. So you offer obeisance. Actually in India, I went to Mayapur and Nectar. Everyone is coming out and they're receiving Nityananda Prabhu, The deity, that festival was over 3-4 days ago, Still, we want that grace, we want that blessings. They are putting the chamra on their head. So, wow, simplicity. So, follow the procession means Krishna is happy as long as you're with him, front or back. Understanding? Krishna never says, Piche, you go behind, not. No, you need somebody to pull the chariot, right? Yes, sir. So if you're in the back, follow him. If you're in the front, pull the chariot. Both are. Doesn't matter. Right. Any other question or comment? Otherwise, stop.
Prabhuji, I have a small question about chanting, if you have time.
Yes, sir.
Prabhuji, so while chanting, if you're thinking about our service, is that okay, or we should not think about the service?
Gauranga Prabhu said this point one time. When we are chanting, Krishna is coming. My Lord, I'll do this for you, I'll do this for you, I'll do this for you. I have to do this for you. I have to arrange the drama, I have to arrange this kirtan, I have to arrange this prasad for you. I'll do. Krishna says, hey, you're calling me and I'm coming. No, I'll do this for you. So in a simple, he told us 20 years ago, I still don't know, at least 7, 8 years, maybe 12, 13 years ago. That is a sign of false ego. No. Somebody asked one time, can I think of my guru at the time of chanting? Okay, but not my guru is very beautiful. Simple thing is chant and listen. Don't let anything to come in. So thinking is, thinking of our service is not good. When we are chanting, we think of our service. When we are doing our service, we think of chanting. I should have done better chanting. Both are wrong. When you're chanting, you chant nicely. Chant and hear. When you're doing service, do service nicely.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Does it answer your question?
Yes, Prabhuji, very much. Thank you.
Remember somebody whom you are praying for means what? You remember your family member? The simple answer is maybe in the beginning, for 1 second, but you pray to Krishna, you should be Krishna conscious, not anybody conscious. Yes or no? Very tricky. This is not Krishna activity. Krishna consciousness, Krishna Chaitana, Krishna Chaitanyam. So throughout your, so one devotee went for book distribution and he knocked the door, people opened the door. Oh, Hare Krishna devotee came. So please come. So this devotee, usually nobody, So they called him and said, he went and said, they said, oh, how fortunate we have Hare Krishna devotee coming to our home. So he said, then he was so happy with the books. So what are the books you have? They said, all the family members came forward. He gave all the books. They were all looking. Then, so now he entered the room. They were all looking. It takes time. Then he looked what they are doing. They were all watching World Cup cricket match. So because of his association, they became, earlier they were cricket conscious, now they became Krishna conscious. Because of their association, he became cricket conscious, he was looking at TV. He said this, real story. So because I don't have anything, so let me take a break from Krishna consciousness and let me become cricket conscious. So Prabhuji, how much is this book? That book is, this many rupees. Final match. So we are doing Krishna activity, but we are a cricket conscious. No, we should be Krishna conscious. Krishna ardha kila cheshta. The Prabhupada never said Krishna activity. Krishna consciousness. Clear? So at the end you offer it to Mataji, that is fine. Actually, at the end, my Lord, this is for her. For her benefit, you offer the mantra. Say like that. No, at the end. Then you will be that person conscious. No, at the end. End of the whole chanting. End of the round also once in a while it will become, it's like, what is it? Burger, It's like, two buns between that, at the end. If it comes and now that person is suffering, maybe it will come to your mind. That's okay, but you should try to focus on the Hari. That is important. Otherwise, you will be that person conscious. Bharat Maharaj was chanting, but he was deer conscious, petting the deer. He didn't get the result. He got the result. What is the result he got? He became a deer. No. And Krishna is in the center, every relationship is spiritualized. Mind is mind, it will come here and there, but ignore. Anything else? Thank you very much, and we'll end it here. Very grateful if I've spoken anything wrong. Excuse me as your servant, but Dandavat Pranam, Hari Bol. I'm ending now. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna
Dandavat
Prabhuji,
Pranam.
Dandavat Pranamam. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Prabhu.